Neil Atkinson and Kev Walsh talking Reds. Do you want to know a secret?
Go on, I want to know all the secrets, but don't tell these.
I will tell these because these are part of the secret. So
don't tell anyone else.
So when we shoot it somewhere like this, the video, I've got, in fact, anywhere we shoot it in here, I've got like this little mini fantasy. And the way,
Neil, I'll be
stay
sure,
with me, Kev.
I'll be sure this is all right for talking Reds.
Stay with me. It's a bit blue. Not in that sense, i.e. the bad sense, i.e. lads are already obsessed with the derby already, and it's about 4 weeks away. The fantasy is this, that someone's living a little bit of a secret life or has told a bit of a lie, and they're going to walk behind one of our videos and get found out. So someone's here to do a job interview or something, but they've told the boss they're sick, and it's all going to go off because their boss watches Talking Reds, and it's going to go from there.
Your fantasies are different than mine, Neil.
Well, they are. Much more mundane, but much deeper into the human psyche, I'd like to think.
Much deeper, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it'll stop there. It ends up with some sort of revenge porn in a Byzantine empire. It's Neil Atkinson and Kev Walsh with you Talking Reds, and we're going to all talk about Paris because we don't need to talk about Everton because we're not mental and obsessed with this game on Sunday. We've got a big game on Wednesday first.
We certainly have, and I'd love to be able to say that I am not mentally obsessed with Everton, but I absolutely 100% am. So Paris for me is in the background. I hope we do the business.
Paris like a League Cup fourth round game for you?
Paris is like a pain in my ass. I'm just thinking, get me to Sunday now so we can destroy them at Anfield, and then all will be right with the world, won't it? That's what I'm all about. Paris is a free hit as well, isn't it? So yeah, Everton for me.
Right, Paris is a free hit. I think this is the most important thing about Paris. The thing that I trust Klopp almost full stop on almost every matter anyway. Like, I haven't made core decisions to me between including who and what I vote for. But I trust him completely to put this into the players' heads. Paris is a free hit, lads. You win, you're through. You don't win, it's sound. We've got something else to sort out. I think they'll treat it like, not be irresponsible, but counter. Go in numbers for them. That's what I think we're going to see tomorrow night.
100%, yeah. And the thing is, because Paris will be under so much pressure to actually get a result, then they're going to have to come out, and that's when we're at our best, isn't it? When they come at us and try and hit us, and if we can frustrate them for 20 minutes, half an hour, and they start losing their heads a little bit, we've only got it. If we counter and get one, I can see us winning 2-0. No, just a genuine consummate performance away from home, and that'd be fantastic if we do. Like, if we can get that.
I think that it's a game where there's so much opportunity for us, so much that we can do in order to run away with it. But the big blow that's been mooted is Mane might miss it, not 100%, bit unwell. The manager likes to look after his players. I think Gomez, for instance, plays at the weekend of the European Cup final, but at this stage he's almost thinking, I've got the squad to trust them to be perfect, but it's actually hard to think who plays if Mane doesn't. I
disagree a little bit, to be fair. I think Mane, I would possibly give him a rest anyway and just put Shaqiri in for his position.
That left-hand side?
Yeah, just move him across there, play the front three as is, and I think Shaqiri's your perfect fit for Mane. I think if you put him in for a Firmino or if you put him in for a Salah, there's a little bit more of a, he's probably got to work harder, I think, a little bit more. Whereas I think if you put him into that Mane role, he just goes in there, and I think you'll find he finds that very natural.
Finds the space.
Exactly, well, he finds the space, but also links the play up with the others that are around him in there. So I think if you take him, he's been playing well at the base of the, or the tip of the midfield pyramid, if you will. But if you put him in that front three attack, I think that's where he might come alive. So if Mane is feeling unwell, I'd say give him the rest, because again, it's a free hit. We don't necessarily need to win, so there's no point in rushing him, and plus we need him fresh for Sunday.
We need him fresh for Sunday indeed. What do you think about Keita?
I said, me and Fuad done the under the lights yesterday, and I did say Keita was a shout, just for the breaking of the lines, and with it being a free hit, if you can put Keita in a little bit further forward and have two holding midfielders in there, it just gives PSG a little bit something to think about, because Keita hasn't really done that well in the league, I suppose, but if he can get a European Cup run behind him, that's the type of thing that'll build his confidence. And I think they're probably more the games where he'll feel, yeah, this is a bit more of me, rather than like a Watford away. He's probably never experienced that, whereas a PSG away in the Champions League, he's got a bit more of an experience about it. So yeah, it wouldn't be a bad show for me, I don't think.
I'd go Henderson, Milner and Keita. I'd give Wijnaldum the game off, not for any negative reason, because we're going to need him Sunday. Definitely. And also because I think we're reaching a bit of a tipping point with Wijnaldum, where he's played a lot of footy. He's integral to Holland, not just to us. He's started so many games. I'd be tempted to say, listen, it's all right, Henderson, Milner for this one. You'll come off the bench to the last half an hour, help see us home. Keita comes in and starts it, and then maybe Fabinho and Wijnaldum play the derby in the two, and then the front three play with Shaqiri as well, and go about it that way.
I definitely think that Wijnaldum could, with it being a free hit, can do with the rest. Let him have a little break, because he played the 2 games for Holland and he's played on Saturday as well. I think maybe Fabinho, with him having the experience in the French league and with him being more of a European type player, he could be the more natural replacement in there. But again, because he's had his career so far has been so up and so down. Some weeks he looks as though he looks exactly what he's doing, and other weeks he's looked miles off the pace. So it depends whether Klopp thinks this is the game to bring him in for, but it wouldn't be a massive surprise to see him in there for me either.
It's going to be a fantastic run, and with the Anfield wrap, you know what we do. We do shows in previewing every game, looking back on every game. What we try to do is we try to look back immediately afterwards with that raw emotion and hopefully that raw positivity and energy. Then we have our free show, which many of you watch, and you can enjoy that one, and then we have our more tactically based review. We've also got our Friday show, which looks at the whole Premier League picture every single weekend, every single set of games. That's what we do for you. Then we've got our team talk, which focuses in, and we've got our free weekender as well, which looks at the Liverpool weekend as a whole, focusing in on that match itself. The games come thick and fast. It is the run into Christmas, and you know what, you couldn't enjoy it any more than enjoy it with us for £5 a month.
Come on, get involved, share the journey with us.
Carragher says on Monday Night Football he thinks that we've gone a bit Benitez Houllier. I'm about sort of semi-agree with him, but actually I disagree on a couple of fronts. I think it's more. I think Watford, when you watch it back, take yourself out of the emotion in the moment. When I was desperate for them to pass forward more and be more aggressive, I think they are a bit more, they're more measured. There's a plan behind it. They know what they're doing. They're trying to wear them out and all of that sort of stuff. But I think what they've got, which those sides never fully had, is I think they've got the idea they could just revert back to type and have 15 minutes, 20 minutes like they did last season, where, for instance, the 20 minutes, the 15 minutes after we go 1-0 up against Paris Saint-Germain at home is dead similar to the start of the second half against Roma, where we just say, you're not getting out, you're at Anfield, you're on our turf, we're going to dominate you until
we play the game in our own ideas. Yeah, definitely. I thought after 55 minutes on Saturday, I had a little bit of a panic. I thought, this could be one of them games where we do drop the points. And I just noticed we just kept doing exactly the same things we have been doing. We were just passing it around, all the movement was the same. Every player had confidence in the players around them, so nobody was trying to force it. And I just thought, you know what it made me think of? United under Ferguson, where it didn't matter if the game was 0-0 in the 89th minute. Yeah. They knew they were going to score, and I feel like Liverpool had that confidence Saturday. So controlling games like that, it is very much more a Benitez Houllier style than we've been used to with Klopp. But I think with Klopp, the attacking part it's miles ahead of both Benitez and Houllier. Even with Gerrard and Suarez up front, I think this front three will score more goals per season because it's a collective, isn't it, rather than the front two. So if we can build on that defensive side, that's what wins your leagues. That's what United won leagues on for years. They won 1-0 every week when they weren't playing well, because if you don't concede a goal, you only got to get one. Whereas with Liverpool under previous regimes, we've had to score 3 and 4, which is no good for winning leagues.
I think there's almost like a thing where thought you saw against Watford, they just upped it and turned it. And yeah, I think that, for instance, all football teams at the best do that, and that's why you can always drive yourself mad by saying, well, is it like this and is it like this? Well, let's be honest about this. There were some weeks where Houlier's teams looked great, and with the business, there were some weeks where Benitez's teams were truly brilliant and probably deserved to win the 08-09 league, if we're honest about it.
Definitely, 100%.
So, they were great sides. So it's almost like, well, there's points where everything coincides, because what makes a great football team, that doesn't go out of fashion, that doesn't go out of style, it just sort of coincides. But the hardest part, I think, is nailing the attack, and I think that's the hardest bit of footy. But we've sort of done that. We can trust that these lads will help us do that. And yeah, there'll be days where they don't click, but there'll be days where we're on.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're at the point now where we've managed to get the full defence sorted. It looks rock solid. Now, you wouldn't swap it for anybody else's. The attack exactly the same. I think we're just tinkering with the midfield to find the right balance, whether it is 2 pivot midfielders with 1 attacking midfielder to link the play, or whether it is 1 and 2 a little bit further forward. But listen, they're the problems you want to be solving, because we've got a set of midfielders there. There's 5 or 6 of them, and with Oxlade-Chamberlain to come back, and I think we'll probably have another one in either January or, if not at the end of the season, being Ramsey or Rabiot probably. And we've got that many options now. I think he's literally just playing around with it, and when he finds it, it'll just, as we say, click. It'll just go right into place.
But also, he hasn't always got to have the same one. He can decide this game suits this, because I think that Watford at the weekend suited the idea of 4-2-3-1 a little bit, and he's proven right. We win the game 3-0. I think that Paris will suit 4-3-3. Then he'll come back. He might do something a little bit. I just think he's gonna say, well, yeah, I've got choices here, and I think what we've got to not do is sort of. Where I think choices is difficult is if he ever gets it wrong, which he will do, everyone does at times. If he ever gets it wrong, we'll say afterwards, well, he got that one wrong. Yeah. But what you can't do then is forget the fact that he's created a situation where the other 19 times he's firstly got himself into a situation where he's got choices and then got those choices right.
Yeah, well, I think that's it's very much a modern day phenomenon, that, isn't it? Where one game's lost, so like Chelsea fans are losing their minds over getting beat by Spurs at the weekend, even though it's the first defeat of the season under a new manager. Listen, that can happen, and certain parts of your fan base will have that. But I think people know that if we do lose a game and Klopp has made what is perceived to be an error, he's got so much credit in the bank that there's no way anyone's going to be calling for heads, or no way seriously anyway. So I'm not overly worried about that. And I think everyone trusts him to find that right balance, because he's done so well with the attack and so well with the defence. that midfield thing, it's just going to take, when he gets it, and you know he's going to get it, that's the key. We know we've got the confidence in him to do it.
You were watching the game with me tomorrow, Motel?
I am indeed. It's going to be a good night.
It's going to absolutely go right off. I'm got to do. I'm doing a talk with the school's careers thing on Thursday morning, and I just think this is a recipe for absolute disaster.
Don't be mates with Kev Walsh. Should be one of your things. I reckon with them poor school kids.
Yeah, you want to get on? Let me show you a picture of this man. Avoid him at all costs. Some transfer stuff's come out. Pool of 6 meant to be going for 70 million according to the Telegraph. Will we get involved there? We're still being linked with Asensio, which I think is interesting. In that I love a lad who blams them in from 30 yards.
He's a great player.
I hate all shots, but a lad who just randomly looks from nowhere, like peak Fowler.
Yeah.
I'd always want peak Fowler to shoot because it might just fly in.
Exactly, yeah.
Whereas when most players have a shot, I'm like, don't shoot.
Even Coutinho, when he was at it, there was always a bit of a worry, wasn't it? But with the likes of Asensio, if you can get someone like him in, he's the dream to get into that midfield, isn't he? Because he is a replacement then for Coutinho.
Yeah. Could play in the 3, could play in the midfield, would always look great.
I suppose Pulisic is pretty similar to that, but I think he's more similar to what we've already got, whereas Asensio's a different level. He's a lot more of a controlling player, I think. Someone like that would be fantastic to get. But I think if Pulisic is available for 70, he's got all the attributes, hasn't he, what Klopp likes. He's a young attacking player, plus the fact that he's American, so probably gives us a bit of a lead into the American market. I think that these are the things you've got to think of in the modern day game, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's not always a battle of laughs, but it will be in the backs of everybody's minds who's looking at him, and there might be a bit of a premium that gets put on that. Fabinho linked with Paris Saint-Germain in January, it says here. I mean, that must have come from something that someone's got a football flash, that's where we grab everything now, but it would be un-Klopp, I think, unless we think that Klopp feels as though it's just never going to work for him. I just don't see that. I think Klopp backs his players, and if he likes him as a person, I'd be surprised if he'd get rid of him.
Yeah, 100%, and I think it goes deeper than Fabinho. He hasn't had a great start to his career, but he's played some good games. But I think Klopp, he's very much about the whole squad. And I think if he thinks, if he goes after another player, and he goes, well, look at this, we've got Fabinho who's been there for 6 months and then he's just bombed them out. That's a negative for players, whereas everyone else, it's all hugs and everyone's in love with him, aren't they? So I'd be very surprised if that one happened.
Really would be hugely surprised by that. Listen, coming out today, we've got Make Us Dream Part 5, there's the Coach Home, there's loads of stuff coming on all the social media channels and the video around Paris as well. Loads of people working on it, we've just had a chat about it, it'll be brilliant. They'll get there tomorrow at lunchtime. Do be following all of that right the way through tomorrow. Post-match show, Kev will be doing the post-match video, I'll be doing the post-match audio. You know how to subscribe, £5 a month, theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe. There's never been a better time to do it. See you in a bit.
It was always going to be a big one, this, wasn't it, Kev? Obviously, we're a little bit gutted about the Red Star results and how that one went. But when you're looking at the group, how tough it was always really going to come down to the wire. And this Paris game is an exciting one. It's a tough one, but it's what you're in the Champions League for.
Yeah, of course. And the thing was with this game and all games of this ilk for Liverpool really is we raise our performance levels generally, don't we? And for games like this where Red Star Belgrade away obviously didn't get the juices flowing quite as much as PSG does. So I think this is the game that you might see. We've all been talking about the click or the moment we want to kick on. A game like this, especially after Saturday, could be the one that does it.
Yeah, it's a glamorous one, isn't it, Craig? It's what you're back in the Champions League for, is what I said at the start. It's a big tie. It's a nice one as well because it's a team we've not played for 20 years, and back then, obviously PSG are a very different kettle of fish to now. It's in a way a lot of people won't have done before. It's big as they come. It's big names, but also, I mean, we'll come on to, but feels like a bit of a free hit as well, the way the sort of games are going. So yeah, nothing to be feared, just everything to be enjoyed.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is the kind of tie that we didn't get last year in the group stages, that we had to wait until the knockout stages to get. And like I'm so excited about going to Paris, and the idea that it is a bit of a free hit, like we were just talking off air. Go there and just and do the business, and Liverpool go through. And if that doesn't happen, then you get to enjoy another big night in the Champions League when Napoli comes to Anfield. And there's a lot to be said about making it through the group easy, but there's also a lot to be said about gaining an extra big night at Anfield in the Champions League, something that like actually means something. And I'd love it if it didn't mean anything, that we were through and that we'd put PSG out. That would be
it's
sensational.
Not very Liverpool though, is it, Phil? No. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna need something from that Napoli game, aren't we?
Well, I kind of want to live through my own version of Olympiacos, so I wouldn't be too obviously I want us to get the win, but at the same time having that big night at Anfield will be really tasty. I think everyone will be completely up for it as well. I think going into this though, like Craig is saying, it's a great trip for everyone going. You're going to get so many Reds going over without tickets, with tickets. It's just going to be a great kind of day all round, and I think the players will feel the same because this is sort of what they're in it for. These sort of games, you got the likes of your Mo Salahs and Sadio Mane's and all these sort of guys who want to show up and put a big performance on, not just for the team, but for themselves, because you lay down a marker somewhere like PSG, then you're making big kind of statements, and Liverpool have already done that.